All right, welcome back, guys. Episode 7 of the Back of the House Boys podcast show, whatever you want to call it. Angel, aka 60, my co-host,
Buck, welcome
Buck
back.
Buck Shitter. Yeah, welcome back, man. Hope you guys had a good weekend of football, sports, whatever you like to do. Just but yeah, welcome back. Have some college football. It was an interesting week. If you watched, Buck unfortunately did not watch many games over the weekend, and
No,
I watched a lot of games. So it was a really good weekend. I think we ended up the show by saying that if you were an enjoyer of the sport, you will have a great weekend. And it did not disappoint. So
no,
just highlighted some games. We'll just go through some notes. Start off with college football as usual, and go through that and give you guys our casual takes, casual takeaways, and casual predictions. Thank you for sticking
perfect.
around, and welcome for episode 7. So to start off this past weekend, I had just highlighted some games, took some notes. I'll just go down the list, and then if you want to chime in, feel free.
Yeah,
So, Oregon Washington was obviously the headliner of this past weekend, and great game. If you did not watch, did not disappoint. Lived up to the hype. Fuck Bo Nix. That's all I want to say. Anyways, he didn't lose the game. The kicker lost the game, but Michael Penix clutches with a go-ahead TD. And Bo Nix did not disappoint. He still excelled in the game, and if it wasn't for that missed field goal, they would have went to overtime. And who knows? I mean, they could have took it. Risk taking is still, it's great. I mean, you want your coach to have balls, and you want to, kind of be in situations always, like, well, good situations. Unfortunately, Oregon was on the back end of those situations a couple times. One obviously being to like run the clock down and kind of take the win, and the other was being the entering halftime, like going into half. They got stopped because and didn't take the points. They could have took a 3 point field goal. Obviously, they could have took the three, but instead decided to go for it on fourth down, and unfortunately did not convert with time expiring into the half. So just the risk taking affected Oregon. I mean, it definitely had Washington on its heels, but at the end of the day, they did lose the game. But both of these teams are still college football contenders. Oregon is still going to be a top 10 team. They're a good team. They're not bad. I know I show my hate for them, but it's just because I hate Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. I don't hate him, but two is better. Anyways, but yeah, both of these teams will definitely be in the college football playoff race. And don't be surprised if they stay top 10 once the college football rankings officially drop in November. Next one up was Miami UNC. Miami is ass, is the headlining of my note. Um, they did, I mean, they were not the better team. UNC was the better team, but they made UNC look like a powerhouse. And unfortunately, UNC is, in my opinion, a fraud. Um, I just don't think they're there. Casual take from one of our friends of the show saying that UNC has beaten a lot of ranked teams. Little did he know, Miami was the first ranked team they've played all year. Uh, I cannot wait for FSU's to expose the frauds that UNC is. Anyways, good game for UNC. Walker, the guy with the eligibility issues, obviously had a
he's a
monster
dog.
game. Yeah, and he's a good guy. He's a good wide receiver. But again, in my opinion, this team is not top 10 worthy. I mean, you can argue that Alabama almost lost to Arkansas, whatever. I don't care. But if you give me Alabama UNC today, I think Alabama whips their ass. So I
Yeah,
mean, be a casual.
I agree with that.
Anyways, A&M Tennessee, Buck. I know you have a lot of
I
experience with this
was
game because
I was in person for that,
yeah,
and so if you're a fan
degenerate
of either of
Tennessee
these
fans.
teams,
Uh huh.
if you're a fan of either of these teams, that was the only reason you like enjoy watching this game. Because other than that, it was pretty boring. Um,
I will say
but
I turned it off a couple times.
yeah, Tennessee's run offense, like their rushing game is nasty for some reason. Um,
Yeah, I
They
know they
have
ranked
all
top in
three
the
of their
nation.
yeah, they're averaging 230 yards rushing a game, I think, which is insane. Um, and A&M, I think, had the number one rushing defense uh, coming into the game.
Definitely
But
like some monster D line stats.
yeah, um, but the surprise in the game was definitely Tennessee's defense, which, like, bar the Florida game, like, has played pretty good. Um, Granted, A&M was like the first. Actually, I take that back. I mean, they
Granted,
played
A and
really good
M's
against South
offense
Carolina.
sucked.
Yeah, A&M's
Anyways,
offense
but
wasn't great, but no, their D line I think was the factor that people were not really talking about coming into the season.
Tennessee's.
But yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I know you guys
James
lead
Pierce.
our top in sacks.
Yeah, James Pierce is a dog, and Tyler Barron also he's doing good. But yeah, they're just generating a whole lot of pressure. They're making it a nightmare for Max Johnson as well. But Tennessee is just gonna have to like put their identity in like running the ball and just hope their defense plays some good games because they're gonna have to. At this point, I don't think they're going with Nico. I think they're just riding with Milton for whatever reason this year. Um, but yeah, they're gonna have to win games despite Joe Milton. Like that's hard to do. So
Yeah, I mean, it
we'll
feels like
see.
the only issue with this team, I mean, coming from a casual side of this team, is the quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, if they had quarterback play like they did last year, this team easily could be sitting undefeated going into this next game that we'll talk about in a second. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, only note I really had was, I mean, like I said, I turn it off every once in a while, but it's because also I have a life, I have a fiance, so we went out to eat, enjoyed our time together. But I was off and on with this game. What I did take away was that it was just a sloppy game by both sides, all the way
Yeah.
around. I think over 10 penalties both teams. But
Mm-hmm.
still, like I said, like I said last week, if Tennessee was to pull this off, it is still a really good win, especially going into this break coming up with only one loss. Obviously, you don't
Yeah.
want that loss, but going in with one loss through to this break coming up for them because I know they have a tougher challenge coming up the next couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, to
Two
go in with
tough road
one
games.
loss, yeah, to go in with one loss, I think is definitely the worst case that you probably could have imagined. So, I mean, like I said, good win. Louisville
I think
Pitt.
worst case would have been
Huh?
going 0 and
No,
6.
there you go. Oh, well, yeah, obviously, but like, I guess worst case from last
But
year, like
best case would have been
consistency.
obviously
Yeah,
going to
best.
6-0. But
Yeah, I mean, it
yeah,
was obviously like, I mean, it was in reach. They threw, dropped a game against a.
yeah.
Well, I mean, tennis. Well, I didn't really highlight this game. Oh no, I did. Wait, did I? Yeah, I did highlight. So I'll talk. I mean, Florida's game.
Yeah,
With
Florida
USC.
came back, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. USC choked. I mean, it was USC senior choked. If you're
Oh,
on,
the one in
if
Columbia.
you're over here on the East Coast, I'm talking about East Coast USC. Anyways, yeah, it was a little further on my list, but yeah, this game, USC just, I think they missed an extra point going into that like 10 point um unanswered points that Florida had. They missed an extra point, and then just obviously it was down from that, for
Downhill.
like downhill from there, and ended up just losing the game. Uh, Another thing is, I guess, talent. In my opinion, the USC team lost a lot of talent due to the transfer portal, and I mean it affected Rattler. I, Me being a casual right now, I don't know if he has another year of eligibility left, but I think he might. So watch out for that.
I have
Yeah,
no clue. He might,
I'll
but
definitely something to good to look into. But huh?
he's definitely been balling. That he's definitely not been the problem for South Carolina. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean it's literally like he's throwing to XFL wide receivers. Like I don't think. Well, I think a couple of these guys will get drafted, but it won't be like top 3 round
Yeah,
talent. It's not top 3 round talent.
probably not.
But but yeah, and then Louisville Pitt. Just a quick, Louisville is a team of
Louisville.
frauds,
Louisville is
fraudulent.
who we thought we were.
Yeah.
Who they thought we were, or they were.
Yep. Exactly. Mizzou, Kentucky. Missouri ended up coming back, and Kentucky was not a great fit for Leary. It's a freezing cold take right there. Leary should have came to Bama. No, I'm kidding. I mean, Kentucky's still a really good team. Two losses, back to back losses, is obviously gonna lose some morale. But I think they still got a couple good games on their schedule that they can definitely try to turn that around. I know they got Alabama. I think they have Tennessee, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
at
So I
home.
mean, yeah, it's gonna be some good matchups. Definitely that you could you know. Unfortunately, they could go to Kentucky. I mean, we don't know. Both of those games could go to Kentucky, but
Hmm.
still a sloppy game by them. I think Leary threw like 3 picks, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
Which Missouri has a good secondary. So if you're a Georgia fan, they haven't played yet, right? Me being casual right now. I don't think Missouri and Georgia have played. But, hey, if you're a Georgia fan, I mean, keep an eye out for that because Missouri is 6-1.
No Brock Bowers.
Yep, no Brock Bowers. Yeah, they do play Kentucky. Or they do play Georgia. So, GA fans, he's coming. Um, so going into the back page, USC Notre Dame. Caleb threw three
Ooh.
picks, got called out for having painted fingernails, and USC Junior just got dominated all night. Which I'll be honest, that 3 game span for Notre Dame, I didn't picture them losing two.
Yeah.
Or what was it? No, it was like 4 games.
No, they did.
Yeah. Well, it was like Ohio
No, yeah, it
State,
was four.
Duke,
Yeah,
Louisville,
they just got
USC.
out of Duke with a win,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
like
for them to have
barely.
2 losses in that break, I was a bit surprised. And obviously, one of I mean, if they did have 2 losses, I would have said Ohio State,
USC.
USC, not
Yeah,
Duke. No, Duke,
Louisville.
Louisville. But
Ohio State, Louisville.
yeah, Ohio State, Louisville is the 2 losses, and I mean, Notre Dame finally responded, and they played more physically. They played better mentally as well. And USC is still vulnerable where we thought they were. That defense is atrocious. And I mean, a competent quarterback that has knowledge of the game will expose this team. I mean, they almost lost to a freshman QB the week prior to Arizona. It took them to overtime. So I mean,
Mm.
USC is still really good. I expect Caleb to bounce back, especially with them playing Utah. It's gonna be a revenge game this week, so we'll look at that a little bit. Got a couple more games on my list, and then we'll go into the preview for this week coming up. And Arkansas Bama is on my notes, obviously. Solid first half, probably one of the best first halves Bama's had this year. Melrose came out or threw 3 TDs first half, and we were just dominating. I think we went into the half 21-6. Defense was playing lights out, and I thought we were a second half team, and I think we still are. But second half was definitely the worst we've had all year, including like the loss to Texas. Um, a lot of the guys were telling me that they lost focus. The coaching was saying they lost focus, and it happens at noon kickoff. Well, 11 a.m. for them. Just sloppy performance in the second half. Thankfully, the defense, ended up clutching it out at the end. But Arkansas is not a bad team. I mean, their record will say otherwise, but they're still experienced. KJ Jefferson has been there since I was a baby, and Sam Pittman he's a dog. I mean, he makes you want to show out, and Landon Jackson had a monster performance. So I think we gave up like 3 or 4 sacks to him. And another thing is we're the most sacked team in the SEC, so,
That is wild.
which is kind of wild, especially considering the hype I was giving this offensive line. But you know,
And you
we'll
weren't the only one.
yeah, I mean, we'll fix it though. But yeah, and then 2 more games real quick. It was kind of like in the earlier part of the week. Uh, but yeah, Stanford, Colorado, Friday night past week. It was a comeback for the ages. Again, it was like a 10 p.m. kickoff. So by the time this game ended, because it went into double overtime, I think it was,
Hmm.
I was probably, in my midnight snack. It was like 2, 3 a.m. I'm kidding. But yeah, it was awesome. I woke up the next morning. My phone was buzzing. getting calls from Dion telling me how bad they played. I'm kidding. But Alec Manor is a dog.
Is that
Uh
the receiver?
yeah. All night the commentators were talking about how, Stanford has weapons on the perimeter. And this guy dropped a beautiful TD. I think Stanford's opening drive against Travis Hunter. So if he would have caught that, he would have went easily over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like that's, that
Absurd.
that gets you drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the game that gets you drafted. I mean, and this game still probably get him drafted because you're
Yeah.
going up against elite talent like Travis Hunter
Travis
and
Hunter.
Deion Sander coach secondary. So
Mm-hmm.
still a really good win for Stanford. Obviously, Colorado I think drops their third game. Yeah, third game.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
I mean, it's still better than last year. Obviously, you can't go 1-11 because you've won 4, but you can still go 4-7. So gotta figure
I'll
it
take.
out. Well, 1-11, 4-7 or something like that. But
I think it's 4-8, right?
well, if
12
they make,
games.
I think they have to make a bowl to get that 12th game.
There's 12
So if
games.
they
I
win
mean,
4 games, they don't get
13.
a bowl.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, still a good team, obviously, but like I said, I expected this team to be bowl eligible this year. That's probably about it. Um, Again, they'll figure it out. Dion is a good coach, but the hype, I tried to tell y'all. And last game on my college football review was Coastal and App. Only real big note I had was that it was Coastal's first win all time playing at App. And if you're on the East Coast and a Carolina boy like we are, it's pretty cool. You know, Coastal program on the
Neat.
rise has beaten App before, but never at App. App is also, a school coming up, so it's nice to see the Carolina boys do something. So it's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Just wanted to highlight that. But that's my preview or review for the past week. So we'll go ahead and jump into a quick preview and then move into NFL like we always do. But yeah. Oh, another thing, real quick. Houston. That game was playing while we ended up recording yesterday. I was talking about how West Virginia could, be a dark horse for the Pac-12 or Big 12, and ended up choking on a Hail Mary. So that was pretty wild and upsetting after we recorded and after I was calling them a dark horse because they're frauds.
Oh,
Anyways, yeah. So jumping into this week, we're starting to get games played on like Tuesday and Wednesday. So I mean, if there is
mm-hmm.
anything that kind of is we'd like to talk about, obviously we talk about. But Liberty 7-0.
They barely beat Sam Houston by a touchdown. Sam Houston is the best no-win team I've ever seen.
No, that was FIU.
No. Florida or Liberty
Oh,
barely beat Sam Houston like the week before.
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep.
But Liberty's 4-0 or 4-0, 7-0. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was probably the highlight of those early games. You got SMU and Temple on Friday, but other than that, it looks like everything's going to be a Saturday night or Saturday, showcase. Obviously, the big one between your boys here is it's the third Saturday in October, and if you're from the South, you know what that means. So yeah, just looking for a nice, clean match where both teams respect each other and they have fun.
I'm not
That's
gonna
all
hear
we
the end of
want.
it if they win.
That's all I want.
I'm not gonna hear the end of
Well,
it
I'm
if
not
they
going to
win.
hear the end of it if you guys win,
It's true.
especially in Tuscaloosa. Hey, man, just
Congratulations on beating a team you beat for the past 15 years in a row.
congratulations
You
for
dropped one
beating a
last year.
team that you have lost to for the past 16 years in a row.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Sorry you
shit.
can't relate to that.
The last time that you beat, you were shitting your pants.
That's probably shit in my pants. I don't know about that. I was
You
probably
17 years.
17 years.
Well, I mean, because you won the 17th year.
Oh, I
So
don't know. Maybe, yeah.
technically,
Yeah, no, I was definitely shitting my pants in kindergarten.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, shit, it happens. You go
Yeah,
in for a sneeze or a cough, and a couple dingleberries come out. So
shit happens. You never can
yeah.
trust a fart.
Hey, man, everything's shits and giggles, so someone giggles and shits. Yeah, it's the truth. No, man, but definitely going to be a good match. A lot of the guys, obviously on Alabama, I follow that. They remember that taste, and hopefully they fucking show up. That's all I want. If you remember the fucking taste, if you remember how it feels, you need to show up. Obviously, you can't do what you did last week, and I definitely feel like there was a loss of focus because these guys were looking ahead at the schedule coming up. Obviously, two big games coming up, and both of those are against the teams you lost to. And how could you not look at this game, especially because you get it at home and you get to prove it against a ranked team because you're clearly being disrespected because they put UNC ahead of you. And UNC is fucking ass. So, like I said, these guys are telling me they remember how it feels. And if we end up losing Saturday, I mean, shit, I'm not going to let it go because they said they remember how it feels. If you remember how it feels, you smack these guys in the fucking mouth and you make a statement. I know you feel the same way, Buck, but just
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion. It's gonna be a
100%.
good match. Regardless, whoever wins, expect them to be smoking a cigar next week. So, hey, Buck said he's smoking a cigar regardless.
It's
You know,
gonna be a victory cigar or a depression cigar.
there you go.
Regardless, lighting one up.
It's gonna be a good match. If you're free, 3:30, tune in. Unfortunately, I'll be watching the first half at work. But guess what? As soon as we get home, we'll see what it's about. Nothing much to say other than it's just go. It's go time. So that's all I got to say about that. If you need to say something, feel free. If you got some rat
No,
poison,
no, just it's just gonna be an interesting matchup with. I'm anxious to see how Tennessee's defensive line does
well, that's what I was about to
against
say.
y'all's offensive line.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like this game is won through the trenches. Whoever controls that line of scrimmage is gonna win that game. And honestly, I don't think it's your offense versus our defense. I think the biggest match this game is gonna be your defense versus our offense.
Hmm.
I think that's gonna be the deciding factor. If
Hmm.
Tennessee can, if Tennessee's defense can do something about it, they'll have a field day. I mean, it's gonna be one of those classic, like, in my opinion, if we end up winning, I think it's closer than 10 points, like 10 or less. And I think that goes both ways. Like I don't think it'll end up really being a. I think 2-score game is like far fetched,
Yeah,
but
honestly, it could be won by a field goal, but it's not gonna be a shootout like last year.
no, it's gonna be dirty and it's gonna be a good match. So tune in. But again, if you're an Alabama fan, you see all this talk, they better back that shit up. Anyways, unfortunately, on the West Coast, one of the biggest matchups of the year is going to be at 9 a.m. for you. So, hope you have a good morning. Penn State at Ohio State, dogfight. Penn State, in my opinion, is going to go out there and prove that Ohio State isn't a fraud, but Penn State
Overrated.
has come to take the throne. And we'll get to Michigan a little later. They're cheating ass, but
Inside the shoe too.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good match, man. It's 4.5 point favorites. I think is a little crazy. Honestly, I think it's a field goal, if anything. But we said that last year, and then JT Tuamalau had like the game of a life for a defensive end. He had like 2 touchdowns or like 2 pick sixes. It was wild, but it was a really good game last year up until like the end when the mistakes ended up happening for Penn State. Oh, I think there was a stat. It's like James Franklin is 0-9 against top 5 teams.
Good lord.
Yeah, something like that. Either 0-9 against
That,
top 5 or 0-9 on the road. So when like they're not home against top 5.
mhm.
It's pretty bad. So I mean, um, in my opinion, I expect these guys to answer the call, and I think coming off a bye, well, no, they didn't get a bye week, but just who's gonna want it more? So We'll see you at 9 a.m. West Coast. UCF Oklahoma. The only reason I'm highlighting this is because Dylan Gabriel is playing his team from last. Well, I guess it's his alma mater. Well, not really, but his prior team. So
Yeah,
obviously it's a different program now because Gus Malzahn is there, but still, I mean, that's the team he grew up playing for. Well, not grew up playing for, but he started with. So it'd be pretty cool, especially
recruited him.
to, yeah, especially to shit on your old school. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. Air Force Navy, fuck Navy. Mississippi State, Arkansas. Unfortunately, one of these teams is gonna lose, and they're both, not on the good end of the stick. So I expect
Mississippi State, and
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah. I mean, these aren't bad teams. It's just they, unfortunately play in the SEC. Yeah, they've probably dropped some Group of Five or some other Power Five and Group of Five losses, but they're plagued because they're in the SEC. So Rutgers, put the house on Rutgers. Anything else we're looking at? Ooh, Charlotte, East Carolina. Someone's getting their second win on Saturday. Give me the Niners. But here's a matchup. Oregon is at home. Washington State is a 2-loss team, but they are also just as explosive as Oregon on offense. I expect Oregon to
Washington
bounce
State.
back. Yeah. Washington State is unranked as a 2-loss team. They're at Oregon. Holy shit. That's a 20-point line. Do
Good
you see
lord,
that? If you are a betting man, you will take Washington State under. Wait, is Cam
that's
Ward out?
wild.
Is Cam Ward out? Cam Ward has to be hurt. There's no reason this game is. Oh my god.
Washington State is one of the two left in the two pack, bro.
Holy cow.
They have the over under at 61.
Oh, they have the spread at 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a degenerate gambler and you want to take some advice, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to take Washington State spread, like cover. Um, I don't think they'll win just because Oregon is probably gonna play motivated. But I mean, if you take the cover, that's 20 points, at least from some sports books. But yeah, South Carolina, Mizzou. Unfortunately, USC is gonna lose, and Spencer Rattler will lose another game. But I need Brady Cook to cook. So
That's a yeah. I don't know. It is Cocktober, bro. You know, so but
what did he
who
say?
knows?
Cock's up, man. Shit.
I said it's Cocktober, man. Can never doubt the South Carolina in Cocktober, but it might be
Houston,
Cocktober.
Texas, man. If you think they can pull off another Hail Mary,
Houston against Texas.
in Houston though, that'd be pretty cool.
Uh, Probably not.
We got the powerhouse UVA going
Hey,
into UNC this weekend.
Power Five. Who did they get? Who did they get their win against?
Guys, believe it or not, this is a Power Five team. Oh, they beat
They
William and
beat
Mary.
William and Mary.
That is, that's. I mean, they handled business. They took care of, who they're supposed to beat. So that's good
Hey,
for
they
them.
were right in it with James Madison, right in it with State, right in it with Boston College. All of those one possession games.
So the powerhouse of UVA is going into UNC this weekend. So definitely keep an eye on this game because UNC is a
That game,
top 10 team now.
that game is on the CW. That
Good
is
God.
crazy.
Um, Old Piss at Auburn. Somehow, like Ole Miss is good, but somehow Ole Miss probably could drop this game. Believe it or not, shit just happens. I expect Ole Miss to win that, but if you're an Auburn fan, I mean, shit, y'all might get it. Um, the Paul Bunyan game is
Is that what it's called?
on
Michigan,
NBC.
Michigan State.
Yeah. First of all, Michigan is a shit like a bunch of cheaters. They deserve to
Hmm.
be kicked out of the CFP, and I mean that explains why they're 7-0. They are frauds. They don't play talent, and their team is full of shitters. Let me
They
rephrase
have a
that.
pretty.
They're a
They haven't
good
really played
team.
anyone yet, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're a good team, but I expect Ohio State to take it this year, and I expect Penn State to whip their ass as well. Michigan is a fraudulent team, and if they make it to the playoff again, guess what? They're gonna choke again. Sorry if you're a Big
That
Ten
being
fan, but they're choke artists.
that being said, Michigan is going to smoke them.
Yeah, that
Or
being said,
yeah, Michigan State.
State has no fucking chance against this team,
No,
especially because they already have your signals. So they
it's
have
harder
your
to
place.
win when they know
Yeah,
exactly what's coming.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, Duke, Florida State, that should be good,
I think
but
Riley
it's not
Leonard's
gonna be.
back.
Oh, is he? If he's
Yeah,
back,
he's
it'll
coming
be
back this
good.
game. Yeah,
But in my opinion, Florida State is an SEC team in an ACC conference now.
yeah.
Army, LSU. It would be awesome if Army would run that wing tee up their ass, but unfortunately, LSU will score 60 points and
Probably.
probably drop like 50 on, or get 50 dropped on them. But guess what? They'll outscore you. Utah, USC. This is the game I wanted to talk about. Uh, USC will back. Holy shit! They dropped them to 18. I didn't even know that.
That's wild.
Yeah, they did
That is
not
way low.
respect
Jeez.
USC. Holy shit.
Where's Notre Dame
um,
at?
oh, shit, they're probably
They
on a
might be on a
bye.
bye. Yeah.
Yeah, but I expect Caleb to and this team to bounce back. Unfortunately, it's going to be against my Pac-12 favorite Utah, who unfortunately probably don't have Cam Rising either this week,
Yeah.
and they would have benefited from it if he did because Cam Rising is USC's dad. So in case you didn't know that. But yeah, I expect them to bounce back and answer the noise and kind of just get themselves back in there. Eventually, like I said, this conference will destroy each other. I think a majority of them have one loss. Only one that I think is undefeated left is Washington. So unfortunately, at some point, I believe Washington will lose as well. Yeah, so should be a good game if you're a USC fan. Utah, unfortunately, until you get Cam Rising back, you have no offense. Thankfully, your defense is good. So I mean, they could keep it close, but I think USC takes this. Clemson, Miami, both of these teams really need this win, and I think Dabo coming off the bye, I think they had a bye, will definitely get this team right. So Miami, you are frauds, kind of
Hmm.
like I always thought you were. TBD is not it, and Mario Chris is it Cristobal? It is Cristobal.
Yeah.
Um, he is doing the same thing with your program that he did at Oregon. So I'm sorry.
Ruin it.
Well, basically not do anything with it.
Yeah.
Uh, ASU, Arizona State at Washington. I will probably catch the first 20 minutes of this game until I pass out because this game is at 10:30 Eastern time.
Mm.
But don't. I mean, Washington is a heavy favorite, but this Arizona State team isn't bad. Granted, like they took Colorado to the wire, who to a lot of you is, you know, a top team in the country. And I think they had a really good game against USC as well, if I do recall. Yeah, let me check real quick. I mean, they had a good game with USC, and they had a good game with Cal. They lost by a field goal to Colorado. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if this team makes it scares Washington, especially after them riding off that high last week. But don't be surprised if Washington fucking destroys them. And I'm not even gonna say the reference, but if you're a fan of Penn State and Micah Parsons, you understand what I was gonna say. Go boys. And then UCLA Stanford. UCLA should win, but We said that same shit against last week when Colorado played Stanford. So so watch out. Should be I mean, obviously every week's gonna be a good week, especially if it's college football and football in general. But it should be a good week. Not too much noise like last week, but definitely could be a lot of upsets. I mean, there's some good games in the morning, some top 25 matchups. Teams playing against each other, but that nighttime. Don't be surprised if there are some upsets though. A lot of games
Mhm.
that teams should win. That could be on upset alert. But to jump into the NFL real quick and hopefully get you guys a quick episode. We're doing some good time right now. Let me my computer would refresh. All right. So I got some stuff from last week as well that I took notes on. Not very many games because in my opinion it was a slower week. I mean, obviously there were some good matchups, but just a lot of injuries, a lot of sloppy games played. And yeah. So starting off, Panthers versus Dolphins was my first note because this was the first game on my list. Finns start off to a really slow start, but obviously beat an inferior opponent. A lot of the stats that I've been seeing is the Dolphins teams that they have beaten. So this is like the people that are using reasoning to say the Dolphins aren't good. It's because the teams they have beat have a combined record of 5-24, which you could argue for a lot of teams. I mean, if you look at the 49ers, the teams that they have beaten, I mean, who have they've beaten the Cowboys, who obviously have a lot of more wins than many. Um, the Steelers and the Rams are the only other two teams that I think have winning records. The Giants and the Cardinals have losing records, and they lost to a Browns team that they should have beat, who had a less wins than losses. So I mean, you could
Mhm.
argue this against anybody up there. I mean, you could argue this with the Eagles. You could argue this with the Chiefs. You know, so
Mhm.
it's kind of stupid with people. Obviously, no one's gonna have a really good record because we're 5 weeks in. We're
Mhm.
going into week 6. Oh, we're 6 weeks in, going into week 7. So it's like, you're not making any sense. You're just trying to shit on the Dolphins, but it's okay. Another thing I said in this is that the Panthers had flashes of what they can be. If you watch the opening game, that like the first quarter of this, if you want to go back and watch it, I mean they played lights out. They went up 14 zip in the first half or the first quarter. And then obviously the Dolphins, it's kind of hard to stop that speed. Just ended up, taking it out of reach. But it's a good game, and if like being a slight Panthers fan because of the home team, it's just like, this team still has potential. Like you guys just have to give it time. They have a rookie quarterback. Bryce isn't the problem, and Adam Thielen is ranked top, like or in the top of like passing or receiving touchdowns, yards, and receptions. He has XFL wide receivers at the moment, so it's just like don't write this team off. But yep, Patriots Raiders, the Belichick Bowl because of McDaniel's or McDaniel. The Pats are fucking ass. And my next note was free Mac 10.
Oh my
Mac
God,
Jones
bro.
is not the
Oh my
problem.
God. Yes, he is. He's not most, but he's some of the problem. Like you
he
can't say he's not.
he is, but I believe that if you put Mac Jones on the Dolphins, on the Niners, he would have the equivalent
Yes.
success of
Yeah.
Tua and Purdy, and even I think he's better than Dak.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's better than Dak.
Okay.
I think Mac Jones is a top 50% quarterback, like 50, like meaning 16 teams. I think
Top
he's a
16 quarterback.
yes. I mean,
I think that's
there's
nuts.
I think there's 16 other quarterbacks that I mean I'm not going to go down the list because I don't know, but in my argument is that Mac Jones is a good quarterback on a horrible team.
That's true.
And
The
also
Patriots have
Belichick needs
done
to
nothing.
retire. That was my last note on that game.
They
But
haven't done
yeah,
anything to help him, like at all. So
I mean he is throwing to bottom tier wide receivers.
plumbers,
Yeah,
genuinely. Like,
Juju Smith is his wide receiver one, if you want to call it that. And Devontae
yeah,
Parker can't catch a fucking
yeah,
cold
yeah.
in the winter. So it's just like, get this man some help or get him out of here, please. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure he could be backing up somebody and learning and eventually take the. I mean, I think this guy would excel on the Browns. Like, I think if Mac Jones was on the Browns, they would be a playoff contender with the
I mean,
defense
I
they have.
think once Deshaun Watson comes back, they should have a pretty good shot. But
Well,
I don't
even
know.
then, they're not like saying that he's coming back anytime soon, from what I've read at least.
What is
Um,
his injury?
I think it's a shoulder strain. I think it's a shoulder. Don't get me wrong. It could be like a back thing.
Mm,
Other news with injuries: Anthony Richardson's out for the year, so
that is tough.
that is pretty sad, especially if you're a Colts fan. But I mean, it's also optimistic. Like your quarterback is really good. You just got to keep this guy healthy, you know. But he'll learn as time comes on. Cards Rams. Only note from this is the Rams are a dark horse. They are a good team with a bad record. Well, not a bad record. They're like 3-3, I think. But they're a good team and definitely one to keep an eye on. I know. I think historically that Shanahan owns McVay, but you know, at some point that's gotta turn.
Hmm.
And next up, Giants Bills. Bills got saved by the refs, but the Giants are trash anyways. But definitely horrible officiating if you watch the game. And the Bills got saved just like Patrick Mahomes by the refs. They won a Bills Chiefs AFC Championship.
Yeah.
Don't know
Do you
why.
think Tyler Taylor is good? Like, do you think he's like same caliber as Daniel Jones?
I think Daniel Jones. I think he wouldn't really miss a beat with either.
Yeah,
I think
I
he.
completely agree.
Yeah, I think those two. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the next Blake Bortles.
I think Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones are equivalent pretty much in the fact that
Unfortunately, the only
one of
difference
them
between these guys is their ethnicity.
one of them has a $140 million contract.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that too.
That's the other one.
Yeah, yeah. One of these is a generational millionaire, depending on how he uses
Yeah,
his money.
yeah, one of these guys has generational wealth now. The other one is Tyrod Taylor.
There you go. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about that. The Bills are frauds who get saved by the refs and deserve to have 3 losses right now. Cowboys Chargers, horrible fucking game. If I'm being
Dak
honest, like
Prescott won that game in spite of Mike McCarthy.
that was probably one of the worst Monday night games I've ever watched in my life.
Horrible play calling by both sides. Kellen Moore masterclass as usual. What's new?
I think you should keep both of
Uh,
these teams off of prime time for a while. But unfortunately, you won't because the Cowboys sell tickets.
Justin Herbert is also a
Justin
big seller,
Herbert
I think.
is a fraud. Guys, he is not it.
He did throw that last pick. That was ugly. That last drive, that was pretty ugly. It was
Um,
crazy that the defense actually made a stop for the Dallas as well.
I think it's
James
crazy
Hayden
that
top.
Justin Herbert gets hyped over Tua. Like I saw a post today, they were talking about like hypothetical trades for like star players,
Mhm.
and they projected that Justin Herbert would receive more than Tua, which I think is hilarious
He would get
because
more like money for him or more
yeah, you would
pick
give up
for him.
more to get him.
You give up more to get Herbert?
Mm. I mean,
I can
other
see it.
than this guy throwing 70 yards, he's just like Josh Allen. And this guy throws 70 yards, but he turns the ball over. He's tall and he's Caucasian. He's America's dream. But whenever you stop fantasizing and, watch some fucking ball, you'll understand that he fucking sucks. Mac Jones would be undefeated right now in the Chargers. Bro, I'm telling you.
I
Clip
really hope
it.
Mac Jones gets
Clip it.
traded.
I
I
hope
would
Mac
love for
Jones
him to
does
get
too.
traded.
Please. Because I do not
Him to
want to
get
buy a
traded.
Patriots jersey. Because I still need to get my Mac Jones jersey. I just got my Bryce Young jersey in the mail, by the way. I'm going to the game next week. So, hyped.
Who do
Hopefully
they
the
play?
first one, Texans. So that's probably a loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be good. We'll talk a little bit here in a second of the preview. Well, I guess we'll fast forward it because both these teams are on buys. Just kind of talking. We'll talk more about it next week. But real quick, just to finish up the last two games, I really took notes on. Well, not took notes, but like kind of, excuse me, like wanted to review. Lions Bucks. The Bucks had the cleanest uniforms, but unfortunately they got dominated by a good Lions team. And Lions are a top 5 team in the league. And also, they just discovered that Jamison Williams is good at football. Like, you didn't know that last year. Anyways, he came back from the suspension, I think, last week, but just scored this week. So, Jamison is going to be a monster for this team and expect them to just get better. And then the last game was the Eagles Jets. Hurts 3 picks. And are the Jets still in it? And new life after struggles? I guess basically implying that they're kind of coming back into fruition after that like
Yeah.
horrible start to the season with, obviously Aaron Rodgers' injury. But
Uh-huh.
I think they're on a 2-game win streak. Yeah, Broncos and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I think we play them next week. I think. So yeah,
Wow.
should be good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the stuff I had like from last week. I had to
Yeah.
take some quick notes because, in my opinion, it was a slower week. Chiefs horrible game on Thursday night, barely beat the Broncos. Ravens, were clearing the Titans in London, but nothing really much to say there. Ritter loses his first game at home and played absolutely awful. The Bears lost Justin Fields potentially for a couple weeks, and the Vikings don't look great without Justin Jefferson. The Bengals end up winning a tough game against the Seahawks, which, in my opinion, I wrote them off. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually that injury is going to come back and hurt them. Oh, I did forget about the Browns 49ers. I should have talked about that one a little bit. But Brock Purdy's first regular season loss. And unfortunately, whenever he loses McCaffrey and Debo, he tends to not do very well.
Turns into Mac Jones without them.
Brock Purdy is Mac Jones. Jags end up beating Minshew and the Colts. Again, Richardson's out for the year. Texans, only big thing I had about this game was I think I did have the Saints last week. So if you're a bettor and you listen to me, I'm sorry. But
Mm-hmm.
anytime Stroud pick did cash, Stroud's first pick. And yeah, that was pretty much all the games. So real quick, we'll go into the preview for this week. Thursday night
Yeah.
game being played because we record on Thursdays. But from my understanding, this game is horrible to watch as well because the Jags, unless you have ETN on your fantasy team, that's the only reason you're happy for this game. And the Saints look awful in the red zone, from what I've been told.
Horrible.
Yeah. So if you're a bettor, hopefully you did not bet on the Saints.
That would be stupid.
So just gonna go down the list then for Sundays and then get into Monday as well. Raiders Bears. Oh, we're gonna also do our pick 'em.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaguar Saints, obviously Jags, they're winning at the moment. I don't expect the offense of the Saints to really pick up, especially behind Carr.
Yeah.
Um,
No. With
listen,
Jameson, why are we doing this with Carr?
yeah,
Genuinely,
I knew Carr was not going to be the quarterback that they expected him to be.
I don't know what
Uh,
they expected him to be.
yeah,
Honestly,
I guess they wanted him to be a Super Bowl favorite quarterback, but it's not happening.
nope.
So give me the Jags. Obviously, they're winning, but it's kind of bad. And then on my list, it says Eagles Dolphins, but it's because I have Eagles or Dolphins as my favorite team. But we'll review that one at the end because that one will probably be a little longer than the ones we're also going to review. So Raiders Bears. Sorry, we kind of jumped the gun and didn't pick them. Raiders Bears. This game, if Justin Field does not play, this game is going to be one of the games that I do not tune into, and hopefully Red Zone does not show much of. If Fields was here, I expect him to have a field day. Fields day,
Is
bruh.
Garoppolo hurt?
Yeah. Garoppolo's
Or did
back,
he get
so
benched?
I think this is. I think he's hurt because I think he went back to back weeks with like going out of the game. So I definitely think he's gonna miss some time. So this probably is gonna be a backup bowl. So
Mm.
it'd be a good time to take some turnovers on this game, some field goals, and yeah. So if you're a better,
I have
maybe the under as well. So some
I have
betting
no
advice.
clue who I have no clue who
Who to
the
pick?
Bears backup is.
Oh yeah, it was. He was on the waiver wire, and like I could have picked him up because I have Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Um, unfortunately, Friday waiver wire. I figure out I had some stuff go through. I think I'm first, so hopefully it works. Unfortunately, I'll just give you some insider source. I'm gonna have to pick up Herbert. Not unfortunately, because he's been putting up consistent numbers, but hopefully it works out. Unfortunately, if you're watching this, Andrew, I'm sorry. Probably not watching it because I think he claimed him too. But Raiders Bears game pick. I'm just gonna go with the Bears just because it'd be cool to see the Bears win this game because both of these teams suck. But
Yeah,
I think the Raiders have more talent and will probably end up taking this. But hey, fuck it, let's go Bears.
yeah. I just to switch it out, just do Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably win this game. Not even like joking, but I mean, like I said, fuck it, let's go with the Bears. Browns Colts. No Richardson. Minshew's not a bad quarterback. I think the Browns are still with their backup quarterback. PJ Walker does not deserve to be a starting quarterback. You know who you
No.
are. Um, but yeah, I mean, in spite of PJ Walker, I think the Browns have a really good defense. So
Mm-hmm.
I expected this to be also an ugly game. Expect probably the low as well, unless somehow Josh Downs just has a legacy game. So please, Josh
Mm-hmm.
Downs, have a legacy game. I'm gonna go with the Browns just because better defense.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's the backup ball, like you said as well. So
Another backup bowl. Holy shit.
yeah. So we'll go Colts as well, or not? Sorry, not Colts. Browns because of the defense.
Browns as well. Bills Patriots. God, the ref bowl.
Bills. The over on the Bills. Sorry, Bills. Take the Bills spread.
But watch this. This could be one of those games because Bill Belichick like fucking hates the Bills, and like if he has one game up his sleeve, it could be this game.
That's
I'm gonna
true.
ride with the Patriots just because I hate the fucking Bills and I like Mac Jones. So Mac Jones legacy game. Let's go. Patriots all the way.
Give me the Bills.
All right. Commanders, Giants. Nothing much to say here. Give me the Commanders.
Commanders.
What was that? HTTC. Hail to the Commanders.
Yeah.
I missed the other one.
You can't say it, Rick. You're gonna get canceled.
HTTR.
Don't say it, Rick.
Anyways,
You're gonna
I
get
said
canceled.
HTTR, but I didn't say anything else.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Commies all the way. Falcons, Bucks. Baker bounce back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think this the South
this
is Baker's to lose, man.
Yeah, this is the game you wear your creamsicles because you beat the Falcons. You're not beating the Lions. Don't know
Mm.
why the fuck they tried to wear him last week. Wear him this week because you can beat the
Mm.
Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
This next game, Lions Ravens. A lot of people. Oh wow, Baltimore is a favorite. A lot of people were talking about this game and basically saying that the Lions haven't beaten anybody, which again they're arguing that same shit that the Dolphins, where their teams have a losing record. What about the fucking Chiefs? Anyways, um, give me the Lions,
Yeah, I like the
and
Lions as well.
they are a really good team. And if you are a hater, you know you're about to fucking figure it out. So
The
love.
Lions are 3-0 away. Wow.
I like Lamar. Yep, I like
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, but the Lions are. are my squad in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. One pride. Steelers Rams. I still think the Steelers are abysmal on offense,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the Rams. So I'm going
Yeah.
Rams. Cooper Cup legacy game, please. I can't
Yeah.
go 1-6. I need to go 2-5. Cardinals Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because they're the better team.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a division game. Don't sleep on the Cardinals, but it is in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a better man, or if you're a betting man, just
Mm-hmm.
keep an eye on that. Oh my
I think
God. Uh-huh.
I think that Seattle will be too much for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Just
this
like
one.
the atmosphere. 12th man.
But what you should do is you should take all our picks, take your picks and my
Bet them.
picks, and see what happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, because that's obviously not betting advice. Don't do that. Packers
Packers
Broncos.
Broncos.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
is Jordan Love out, or are you
No,
just
he's
going to
there.
run
I'm
with
just
the
going with the
studs?
Broncos because I mean Jordan Love looks like he's seeing ghosts every time I
Yeah, that's
watch him
true.
play. I don't know how this team has 2 wins, in my opinion.
Green Bay is a 1-point favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a
Interesting.
good
That's
game.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going
the line was
Broncos.
that
Who are you
small.
going with?
Yeah, Broncos country, bro. Let's ride.
Hey, let's ride, guys. We're riding here in the back of the house.
Yeah.
Pause. Chargers Chiefs. The Chargers are fucking god awful. So give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Taylor Swift is probably going to be at this game. So Chiefs.
Dude, shut up. No way. Are you kidding me?
And then the biggest match of
This
the
is the best
weekend.
game of the week.
Yeah. Dolphins at the Eagles. To put up or shut up. They were talking about who needs this game more, or who would have a better statement if they won. I think Dan Orlovsky was saying that the Eagles would have a better statement if they won. I'm like, the Eagles lost the fucking Super Bowl. Like, if the Dolphins win, like, which I get it. I'm like, the Dolphins are a really good team, and I expect them to win. But it's gonna be I think it'll be a shootout, man. I'm expecting the over. Not a lot of rushing, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Mr. Mustard. But
Mustard.
should be a really good game. I expect the Dolphins to take it just because I think they're a really good team. But the Eagles, unfortunately, will drop 2 games back to back. And unfortunately, it is to the Jets. So, yeah, should be a good game. I expect the Eagles to bounce back after this loss. So, again, I think this was my Super Bowl prediction, Dolphins Eagles. So
Give me the
preview.
Dolphins, man.
Yeah, I know. I know you hate the Eagles. So,
No, I
anyways,
mean just the high flying offensive. I mean, the Eagles have been struggling real bad in the secondary,
I mean another thing
and
is too. Mhm.
and they try to fix that with signing Julio Jones as
Well, we
well.
also fucking suck in the secondary. So I mean,
Maybe we
like I
should see
said,
it like a shootout, like you said.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it should be a good
yeah.
game, but who knows? I mean, the Eagles were probably going to be motivated, especially after dropping a horrible game against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be a bad time to play the Eagles, and it would just be just our luck to get absolutely slaughtered. But anyways, I'm going with the Dolphins. I expect us to win this game, and
Yeah.
if we end up winning it close, I still expect us to win. Could be a close, could be a shootout, but we'll figure it out. 49ers Vikings. Unfortunately, the Vikings are the next team on the 49ers schedule. And coming off of a loss, I expect nothing but a slaughter fest for Kirk Cousins. Give me the Niners.
Niners as
And
well.
unfortunately, the Vikings will drop their 5th game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Teams on bye: Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Jets, Panthers, Texans. Much needed bye for some of these teams. Jets, especially, is a really good one. Cowboys probably regrouping. The Panthers definitely regrouping. And just a quick look into next week because we're doing good on time. I'm going to go to the Panthers Texans game. Hopefully, the first one of the season. Some OC changes, which we'll review some more next week. But definitely, should be a really good game, and hopefully the Panthers pull this off. But unfortunately, the Texans are a good team. So, but that is our betting advice for the week. So take that with a grain of salt because we are casuals.
We are not experts.
At the moment, the Jags are still leading the Saints. So looks like that
You're
one
an idiot if you
probably.
bet on the Saints.
Yeah, if you had any bets on the Saints other than field
You're an
goals,
absolute moron. Yeah.
yeah. But anything else you want to say?
Derek Carr just threw a pass into the ground, and I'm not kidding. There was no one in the area. He just threw a pass straight in the ground.
I think I
That's what I
just saw
wanted to
that.
end with. Yeah.
Cuts into a camera of a Saints fan shaking his head. So if you're a Saints fan, I do apologize. But anyways, that's it for the week. Should be a really good week, especially for football, man. Also, real quick, the baseball, the ALCS and NLCS, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Happening right now. If you're a Phillies fan, fuck you. But anyways, go Rangers, go D-backs, because the next time we
Yep.
record this, the World Series match will probably be set.
Mhm.
So I'm going Rangers, D-backs. Obviously, it's like the what would you call that?
What
Like
do you mean?
the two teams that aren't expected to win. So the underdog. So it's the
Yeah.
underdog series. That's
Mhm.
what I'm going with.
Mhm.
Um, at the moment, Texas Rangers lead Houston, so should be good, and the Phillies lead the D-backs. So yeah, baseball's was good. Oh, WNBA, the Liberty Aces, Las Vegas Aces just went back to back. So congratulations to them.
Back to back, like Drake, bro.
Yeah. And that is all for the sports news. Oh, soccer, real quick, just throwing some shit out. Neymar tore his ACL, so that's unfortunate for the Saudi league. Oh, and real quick, sorry, UFC, really big card this weekend. If you're a UFC fan, um, Hamzat Chimaev, if you're a better man, I believe will take that dub. Don't know what else other than like I guess money line. Hamzat Chimaev money line in my opinion, and go ahead and give me um I forgot his name. Islam Makachev. Give me his money line too.
Mm.
Alexander Volkanovski will have his second loss. So yeah, should be a really good weekend for sports if you're a sport enjoyer and just all that. But anyways, thank you for tuning in for the 7th episode of the show. Appreciate all the love and support. If you guys are showing love and support, and again, let us know in the comments if there's anything better we can do. Today we did a really good time on this show, but yeah, it's again, just thank you, and follow us on Instagram, follow us on X, follow us on Threads, the Back of the House Boys, BOH Boys, not Back of the House, the BOH Boys. But appreciate everything, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. And like I said, just leave a like, comment, subscribe, and anything else you want to say, Buck?
Not really. Just thank you for watching. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we'll see you guys in a week, and hopefully you have a good, safe weekend and enjoy some sports, enjoy some football, and again, just be safe. See you guys.